Firewatch is a game about a man trying to find some normality. A man running from the pain of watching a loved one suffer. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's take it back to 1989. The game starts off like a Telltale game, a series of choices told through text. We meet a man. His name is Henry, and he's living a simple but happy life. He meets a woman at a bar named Julia. They fall in love. They adopt a dog. They name him Bucket. Unfortunately, life had other plans. Julia develops onset Alzheimer's. At first, it's small things. Julia starts forgetting conversations. Then she starts forgetting where she placed things. Eventually, she forgets the man she met and fell in love with. Knowing the end is close, Julia does something before her condition worsens. She gifts a typewriter to Henry, something that, even if it's just himself, he can at least be talking to someone. Unable to handle the slow suffering, Henry decides that he needs to head on out to the Wyoming wilderness as a firewatcher. After a 2-day hike, you make it to your tower. Once inside, you're greeted by a voice over the radio. They'd introduce themselves as Delilah, your supervisor from a nearby tower. After getting some much-needed rest, you're interrupted from your thoughts while settling in by some fireworks off in the distance. Delilah radios over to you, lets you know you're the closest one and we need to stop these fireworks because the ground is so dry. It could cause a fire. You grab your pack and make your way. Along the way, you find a cliff. Delilah lets you know there's a nearby stash with some rope in it. After grabbing the rope and heading to the shale cliffside, you attach the rope and start to make your way down. Along the way, the rope snaps, sending you tumbling to the ground. You're fine, just a little bruised, but from that day, we name that cliff Widowmaker. Passing the meadow, you find a campsite. With it, a bunch of beer cans and some fireworks you make sure to confiscate. Continuing on, you pick up the trail of some girls. Upon following it, you reach a lake. That's when you see them, the girls who launched those fireworks and made that campsite. Yelling at them, they don't seem to take you serious. They're kind of drunk and skinny dipping. To prove you're serious, you grab their stereo and head on out, convinced that it'll prove you're serious. Unfortunately, you can't go back the same way. Your rope snapped, and there's no way back up Widowmaker, so you need to find a different route. Following along the river, you come upon another stash, this one with a flashlight. After making sure to pick it up, you make your way back to the tower. You run into a man cloaked in black, and you two just pretty much stare at each other for a moment. After calling to Delilah, you met a stranger in the woods. She asked you if you're okay, even going so far as to mock you that you met a stranger in the woods. Oh no. Finally, returning to the tower, you find it ransacked. Your sheets stolen, typewriter thrown out the window. Delilah promises to report it to the cops, but that doesn't help ease the isolated feelings. The next day, Henry learns that the phone lines are down. Delilah asks him to go check it out. Following the phone lines across the hill and up north, you find that they've been cut. No wind damage could have done this. Taking a look around, you find some beer cans that look eerily familiar, along with a unsightly message. Radioing to Delilah that the girls are responsible, you decide they need to be kicked off the property. But that means you have to find them. Off into the distance, you see a plume of smoke, assuming it to be their campsite. After radioing to Delilah where you're heading, you make your way along the long hike. Along the way, there's a couple of things of note. There's a backpack you find with a disposable camera. With it, there's also some more ropes. Hopefully these ones are a little sturdier. You find a poster for a missing person. You find a fenced off area, one that's not on your maps, so you have no clue why it's there. And you also decide to adopt a turtle along the way. Upon reaching their campsite, you find it completely destroyed. Thinking it's either elk or bears, you radio to Delilah to let her know all of the stuff that's been thrown about. You find your sheets, leading you to believe the girls were the ones that broke into your home. You also find a note, mysteriously. It seems the girls are trying to blame you for attacking them and stealing their stuff. They do say they're going to leave and never come back, but they're going to contact the cops. Thinking nothing of it, you let Delilah know and start making your way back to your tower. Fast forward a couple days and Delilah calls you. The two girls from earlier have been reported missing. You and Delilah get your story straight. Delilah makes a police report, making sure to keep it vague. A little bit of time later, and you get to see a little bit more about the relationship between you and Delilah. Sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's small talk, but hey, it's keeping you sane. Day 33 is when things start to go a little cuckoo. A fire starts. It's late at night and you and Delilah are watching it. She lets you know that it's her responsibility to come up with a name for the fire, but she's having some troubles. You suggest calling it after her. She absolutely refuses, but she does say that maybe they could use her middle name instead. On that day, the June fire was born in July. We jump forward a full month. Tired of the canned food, you grab a fishing rod and make your way down to the lake. Once at the lake, you find a clipboard of you and Delilah's conversations. Somebody's been listening in. Nearby, you find a strange radio, and suddenly, you're attacked. Waking up, the clipboard and radio are gone. You report it over to Delilah, and she seems shaken, confused, scared, realizing somebody's been listening in to your guys' conversations. Back on the clipboard, you saw the name, Wapiti Station. After asking Delilah about it, she knows nothing about Wapiti Station, but there is a Wapiti Meadow. Henry makes it over there only to find it's that fenced-off area from day 2. Finding a gate, unfortunately it's locked. You gotta figure out a way to get in. Figure out who's been listening to you. Down south, firefighters are fighting against the June fire. They did a controlled burn in order to make sure the fire doesn't end up burning your tower. You guys decide to make your way down south and see if they'll help you out. Slowly but surely, Henry makes his way down south to the station where they should be able to help. You don't find any firefighters, but you find an axe. Using it, you're able to bust open the gate. Along the way back, Delilah hits you with a recording from a conversation between the two of you, one where you can clearly hear a third party. He's coughing. Once inside Wapiti Station, you find a bunch of survey equipment. Looks like a science station. There's reports on both you and Delilah. There's a transponder that allows you to pick up radio waves. Freaking out, Delilah says that you guys should burn the station. That way to get rid of any evidence they might have on you. Thankfully, you talk Delilah out of that and start making your way back to your station. Taking a look back on your way out the gate, you find that somebody set it ablaze. The station's on fire. Somebody did it deliberately. You don't get any sleep that night. The following day, you get a radio from Delilah. She says to head over to a stash where she left you a present. Once there, you find a new radio. Here's hoping this one's not tapped. On the way back to the tower, your transponder starts to pick up a signal. After following it, you find the keys to a cave from when you first came in. The backpack was alarmed though, so they knew you were here. Then, you get hit with the coldest line in the game.
I am looking at a man standing in your lookout, and it's not you.
Rushing back, you find no one, just the cassette tape. Listening to it, it's an edited version of your conversation with Delilah at the station, making it sound that you two started the fire. Determined that they need to figure out what's going on, Henry decides to head on out to the cave. Disaster strikes while you're inside. The cave gets locked from behind. Thankfully, you're able to make your way through the cave. You come across where Brian lived. It's the kid who left the disposable camera and the ropes. Thankfully, Brian has some more climbing equipment, so you're able to get down safely. Going back through the cave, this time using your new climbing equipment, you're able to go even deeper this time, hoping to find the person listening to your conversations, maybe where they were staying. Unfortunately, you don't find the stranger, but you do find something strange. A body. It's Brian. It looks like he fell while rock climbing. It looks like an accident, but you can't really rule out some form of foul play. Once you're outside the cave, you radio to Delilah to get search and rescue out to you. Delilah admits that a fire plane once saw Brian. He was a kid here with Ned, another Firewatcher, a couple of years back. Brian wasn't supposed to be here, so him and Ned went on the run halfway through their shift. She thinks it's her fault, that if she hadn't lied to the plane, Brian would never have stayed here, and he would be alive. You don't even get to walk back to the station. The game just cuts you off there. Everything goes black. It's now day 79. Delilah lets you know that the June fire and the fire from the station have merged into one fire. They're naming it after Delilah's lookout. Evacuation orders go out. Henry starts to pack, he grabs his turtle and begins the long hike north. Before you can truly make it out, the transponder acts up. Heading down Widowmaker one last time, you come across another cassette tape. It's Ned. He admits he's the one from day one, the cloaked figure you saw. He admits he's the one that broke into the lookout. He insists Brian's death was an accident and he was trying to teach his son how to climb. Delilah doesn't believe him, saying Henry's wasting his time and that he needs to evacuate right now. So you continue on north. Along the way, Delilah radios, saying the helicopter's at her station ready to take her away. You plead with her to wait for you, to make sure you don't leave without him. She refuses. For the first time, there's no radio. There's no music. There's no animals. It's just the sound of the wind and the sound of a fire. Just the sound of your boots on the ground. Once you arrive at Delilah's tower, you find it empty except a drawing she made of you. Putting on her headset, you're able to talk to her. You ask her to come visit you. You guys have become friends over the summer, and he would love to maybe become something more. Delilah tells him to go home and go to Julia and to try to live again with her. The helicopter comes back, you board it, the credits roll. There's no epilogue, no wrap up, you just get dropped back off at the main screen. Firewatch wasn't a game about solving mysteries or even really about escaping grief. It was about loneliness. Personally, I like to think Henry made a book about his whole summer. Maybe he used his typewriter. I like to think that maybe it became a bestseller novel, and even like to think that somebody turned it into a video game one day. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Firewatch. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It was my first time doing an entire game in one video. It was also my first time writing a script. I had a blast doing this, and I hope to see you guys in the next story. Till then, I'll see you around.